Welcome to Storybook Nook. Learn English through daily mysterious stories under the moonlight.
Storybook Nook. How not to miss this video if you can't finish it right now? First, give us a like, and then click the save button. A new window will pop up, and you can save it to watch later if you can't watch the entire video right now. This is an effective way to create your own English learning playlist. Let's get started.
The Wonderful Adventures of Daffy Duck. Chapter 1. The Dreamer. Daffy Duck lived in a cozy little pond in the middle of a lush forest. The pond was surrounded by tall trees that provided shade and a cool breeze on hot days. Colorful flowers bloomed everywhere, and the sound of birds singing filled the air. It was a peaceful and beautiful place, perfect for a duck like Daffy. Every day, Daffy dreamt of becoming a famous actor. He loved watching movies and shows, imagining himself as the hero or the star. He would often stand in front of the pond and perform for his friends. His friends included Bugs Bunny, who was clever and always had a good idea, and Porky Pig, who was kind and supportive. Daffy would pretend to be a superhero saving the day or a brave knight fighting a dragon. He loved to make his friends laugh with his funny voices and silly faces. Daffy's performances were always full of energy. He would jump around, wave his wings, and make dramatic gestures. Sometimes he even made costumes from things he found in the forest. He used leaves and sticks to create armor for his night role, and he found a shiny rock that he pretended was a magical jewel. His friends were always amazed by his creativity and enthusiasm. Bugs Bunny was one of Daffy's biggest fans. Bugs was smart and always had a plan. He admired Daffy's courage and confidence. Even when Daffy made mistakes, Bugs would clap and cheer. He knew that being an actor was Daffy's dream, and he wanted to support him in any way he could. Bugs often gave Daffy tips on how to improve his performances. He taught Daffy how to speak clearly and project his voice so that everyone could hear him. Porky Pig was another one of Daffy's close friends. Porky was gentle and always knew how to make Daffy feel better when he was nervous or scared. Porky loved Daffy's shows and often helped him prepare for them. He would gather flowers to decorate the stage or find shiny pebbles to use as props. Porky believed in Daffy's dream and always told him that he could achieve anything he set his mind to. One day, Daffy decided to put on a big show for his friends. He wanted to do something special to thank them for their support. He spent days planning and practicing. He wrote a script, designed costumes, and created a stage near the pond. He even made invitations and gave them to all the animals in the forest. He wanted everyone to come and see his performance. The day of the show arrived, and Daffy was both excited and nervous. He woke up early and went to the pond to make sure everything was ready. The stage looked perfect, with colorful decorations and a beautiful backdrop of trees and flowers. Daffy took a deep breath and reminded himself that his friends believed in him. He knew he could do it. As the sun began to set, animals started to arrive. They found spots to sit and waited eagerly for the show to begin. Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig sat in the front row, smiling and waving at Daffy. Daffy took one last look at his script, then stepped onto the stage. He felt a rush of excitement as he looked out at the audience. Daffy began his performance with a dramatic speech. He told the story of a brave knight who set out on a quest to find a magical jewel that could save his kingdom. He used different voices for each character, making the audience laugh and cheer. He acted out scenes of battles with imaginary dragons and dangerous journeys through dark forests. His friends watched in awe, amazed by how talented he was. During the performance, Daffy's nerves began to disappear. He felt more confident with each scene, and he could see that the audience was enjoying the show. He remembered all the tips Bugs had given him about speaking clearly and using his body to express emotions. He also thought about Porky's encouragement and how much his friends believed in him. The climax of the show came when Daffy, as the brave knight, found the magical jewel and returned to his kingdom. He held up the shiny rock he had found and pretended it was glowing with magical light. The audience gasped and applauded. Daffy finished his performance with a heartfelt speech about friendship and believing in oneself. When the show ended, the audience erupted in applause. Daffy took a bow, feeling proud and happy. Bugs and Porky rushed onto the stage to congratulate him. "You were amazing, Daffy," Bugs said, giving him a big hug. "You did it!" Porky exclaimed, smiling from ear to ear. Daffy thanked his friends for their support. I couldn't have done it without you, he said. You both believed in me, and that made all the difference. Bugs and Porky smiled, knowing that they would always be there for Daffy, no matter what. That night, as Daffy lay in his cozy nest by the pond, he thought about his dream of becoming a famous actor. He knew it wouldn't be easy, but he also knew that with his friends by his side, anything was possible. He fell asleep with a smile on his face, dreaming of all the adventures that lay ahead. From that day on, Daffy continued to practice and perform. He put on shows for his friends and even started writing his own plays. He never gave up on his dream, and he never forgot the support and encouragement of Bugs and Porky. Daffy's pond became a place of laughter and joy, where dreams could come true with a little bit of effort and a lot of love. Chapter 2. The Opportunity. One sunny morning, Daffy Duck woke up to the sound of birds singing and the gentle rustling of leaves. The air was fresh and the sky was a clear blue. As he stretched his wings and looked out over the pond, he felt a sense of excitement. He had a feeling that today was going to be special. Daffy decided to take a walk around the forest. He loved exploring and seeing what new adventures awaited him each day. As he wandered through the trees, he heard a commotion up ahead. Curious, he hurried towards the noise and soon found himself in a clearing where a large crowd of animals had gathered. In the center of the clearing stood Elmer Fudd, a famous talent scout known for discovering new stars. Elmer was a tall, serious-looking man with a kind smile. He held a clipboard in one hand and a megaphone in the other. "Attention, everyone!" Elmer called out through the megaphone. "I'm here to find new talent for my latest show. If you have a special talent, step forward and show me what you've got." Daffy's heart skipped a beat. This was the opportunity he had been dreaming of. He quickly made his way to the front of the crowd, eager to get his chance. As he stood there, he saw other animals stepping forward to showcase their talents. Some sang, some danced, and others performed magic tricks. Daffy watched in awe, but he knew he had something special to offer. When it was finally his turn, Daffy took a deep breath and stepped onto the makeshift stage. He looked out at the crowd and saw Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig standing near the front, cheering him on. Their support gave him the confidence he needed. Daffy started his performance with a funny impression of Elmer Fudd himself, which made the crowd burst into laughter. Even Elmer couldn't help but smile. Daffy then transitioned into a dramatic monologue from one of his favorite plays. He used his wings to gesture and his voice to convey deep emotions. The audience was captivated by his performance, and Elmer watched him intently, scribbling notes on his clipboard. Daffy finished with a flourish, bowing deeply to the sound of enthusiastic applause. Elmer stepped forward, clapping his hands. "That was fantastic, Daffy. You have a natural talent for performing," he said. "I would like to invite you to audition for my new show in the city. You have the potential to become a star." Daffy could hardly believe his ears. He had dreamed of this moment for so long, and now it was finally happening. "Thank you, Mr. Fudd," he exclaimed, his voice trembling with excitement. "I promise I won't let you down." Elmer smiled warmly. "I know you won't, Daffy. I'll send you the details of the audition. In the meantime, keep practicing and preparing. I look forward to seeing what you can do." As Daffy left the clearing, his mind was buzzing with excitement and anticipation. Bugs and Porky rushed to his side, congratulating him on his amazing performance. "You were incredible, Daffy," Bugs said, giving him a high five. "We knew you could do it." Porky nodded in agreement. "We're so proud of you, Daffy. This is your big chance." Daffy felt a surge of gratitude towards his friends. "I couldn't have done it without you two," he said. "Your support means everything to me. Now, I just have to make sure I'm ready for the audition." Over the next few weeks, Daffy threw himself into preparing for the audition. He practiced his lines, worked on his expressions, and perfected his comedic timing. Bugs and Porky helped him every step of the way, offering feedback and encouragement. They even organized mock auditions to help Daffy get used to performing under pressure. One day, as Daffy was rehearsing by the pond, he received a letter from Elmer Fudd. His heart pounded as he opened it and read the details of the audition. It was scheduled for the following week in the big city. Daffy knew he had to be at his best, so he redoubled his efforts. practicing late into the night. The day before the audition, Bugs and Porky surprised Daffy with a special send-off party. They decorated the pond with colorful streamers and balloons, and all the animals in the forest came to wish Daffy good luck. There were games, music, and plenty of delicious food. Daffy felt overwhelmed by the love and support from his friends. During the party, Bugs pulled Daffy aside and handed him a small, wrapped gift. "This is for you, Daffy," Bugs said with a grin. "Open it when you get to the city." Daffy nodded, feeling touched by the gesture. "Thanks, Bugs. I'll make sure to do you proud." The next morning, Daffy set off for the big city. He carried a small bag with his costumes and scripts, and he made sure to bring the gift from Bugs. The journey was long and tiring, but Daffy's excitement kept him going. He couldn't wait to see what awaited him in the city. When Daffy finally arrived, he was amazed by the sights and sounds of the bustling metropolis. Tall buildings towered above him, and the streets were filled with people and cars. Daffy made his way to the theater where the audition was being held. He took a deep breath and walked inside, feeling a mix of nerves and excitement. The theater was grand and impressive, with plush red seats and a large stage. Daffy saw other aspiring actors waiting for their turn, each looking just as nervous as he felt. He found a quiet corner to sit and took out the gift from Bugs. Carefully, he unwrapped it and found a small framed photo of himself with Bugs and Porky. There was a note attached that read, "Remember, we're always with you. Good luck." Daffy smiled, feeling a wave of warmth and confidence wash over him. He knew that no matter what happened, his friends believed in him. When it was finally his turn to audition, Daffy stepped onto the stage with a renewed sense of determination. He gave it his all, performing with passion and enthusiasm. Elmer Fudd was in the audience watching closely. When Daffy finished, Elmer stood up and applauded. "Well done, Daffy," he said. "You've shown great improvement, and your performance was outstanding. I'm pleased to offer you a role in my new show." Daffy could hardly believe it. He had done it. He had achieved his dream of becoming an actor. As he left the theater, he couldn't wait to share the news with Bugs and Porky. He knew that this was just the beginning of his adventure, and he was excited to see what the future held. Daffy returned to the forest to celebrate with his friends. Bugs and Porky were thrilled to hear the news and threw another party in his honor. They danced, laughed, and shared stories late into the night. Daffy felt grateful for the incredible opportunity and the unwavering support of his friends. As he looked up at the stars that night, Daffy knew that he was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. With Bugs and Porky by his side, he felt invincible. He was determined to make the most of his opportunity and become the best actor he could be. And so, with a heart full of dreams and a spirit full of hope, Daffy Duck embarked on his new adventure in the big city, ready to shine and make his mark on the world. Chapter 3. The Audition. The sun was just beginning to rise as Daffy Duck woke up on the day of his big audition. He had spent the night in a small, cozy hotel room in the city. The room was simple but comfortable, with a soft bed and a window that overlooked the bustling streets below. As he got ready, Daffy felt a mix of excitement and nerves. This was the moment he had been preparing for, and he wanted to make sure everything went perfectly. Daffy carefully went over his lines one last time, practicing in front of the mirror. He made sure his costume was neat and his feathers were preened. He took a deep breath and reminded himself of all the hard work he had put in to get to this point. His friends' encouraging words echoed in his mind, giving him the confidence he needed. With his bag packed and ready, Daffy left the hotel and made his way to the theater. The streets were already busy with people going about their day, and Daffy marveled at the sights and sounds of the city. He passed tall buildings, colorful shop windows, and street performers entertaining the crowds. Despite his nerves, he couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder and excitement. When he arrived at the theater, Daffy was greeted by a friendly receptionist who checked his name off the audition list. "Good luck, Mr. Duck," she said with a warm smile. "You can wait in the green room until it's your turn." Daffy thanked her and followed the signs to the green room. Inside, he found other aspiring actors waiting for their chance to audition. Some were practicing their lines, while others sat quietly, lost in thought. Daffy found a seat in the corner and took out the photo that Bugs had given him. Looking at the picture of himself with Bugs and Porky gave him a sense of comfort and strength. As he waited, Daffy struck up a conversation with a fellow actor named Tina Turtle. Tina was kind and had a calming presence. She shared stories of her own journey and gave Daffy some helpful tips on staying calm and focused during the audition. "Just remember to be yourself and let your passion shine through," Tina said with a reassuring smile. Finally, Daffy's name was called. He took a deep breath and stood up, feeling a mixture of nerves and excitement. Tina wished him good luck, and Daffy walked to the stage with his head held high. The theater was grand, with plush red seats and a beautiful large stage. As he stepped into the spotlight, he saw Elmer Fudd sitting in the front row, along with a panel of judges. Elmer smiled and nodded at Daffy. "Whenever you're ready, Daffy," he said. Daffy took another deep breath and began his audition. He started with a comedic monologue, using his expressive voice and animated gestures to bring the character to life. The judges laughed and seemed to enjoy his performance. Encouraged by their positive reactions, Daffy moved on to his dramatic piece. He poured his heart into the performance, letting his emotion show through every word and movement. As he performed, Daffy could feel the audience's attention focused entirely on him. He remembered all the tips Bugs had given him about projecting his voice and using his body to express emotions. He thought about Porky's encouragement and how much his friends believed in him. With each line, he grew more confident, and by the time he finished, the theater was silent, filled with anticipation. The judges exchanged glances and whispered to each other. Elmer Fudd stood up and began to clap, soon joined by the rest of the panel. "Well done, Daffy," Elmer exclaimed. "That was a fantastic performance. You've shown great talent and dedication. We would like to offer you a role in our new show." Daffy's heart soared with joy. He had done it. He had impressed the judges and secured a role in the show. "Thank you so much," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "I promise to work hard and give my best." Elmer smiled warmly. "I have no doubt that you will, Daffy. Welcome to the team." After the audition, Daffy couldn't wait to share the news with Bugs and Porky. He rushed outside and found a quiet spot to call his friends. When they picked up, Daffy excitedly told them everything that had happened. "I got the role," he exclaimed. "I'm going to be in the show." Bugs and Porky cheered on the other end of the line. "We knew you could do it, Daffy," Bugs said. "You worked so hard and now it's paying off." Porky added, "We're so proud of you, Daffy. This is just the beginning of your amazing journey." Daffy spent the rest of the day exploring the city and celebrating his success. He visited a nearby park, enjoyed a delicious meal at a cozy cafe, and even treated himself to a movie. As he walked through the city streets, he felt a sense of accomplishment and excitement for the future. The next day, Daffy reported to the theater for his first day of rehearsal. He met the rest of the cast and crew, all of whom were friendly and welcoming. The director, a talented and experienced rabbit named Roger, introduced himself and explained the vision for the show. "We're creating something special here," Roger said. "Each of you brings unique talents to the table, and together we're going to make magic happen." Daffy felt inspired by Roger's words. He couldn't wait to start working on the show and to learn from such talented people. The rehearsals were intense, with long hours and lots of hard work, but Daffy was determined to give it his all. He practiced his lines, perfected his timing, and worked on his expressions. He listened carefully to the director's feedback and made sure to apply it to his performance. As the weeks went by, Daffy grew more comfortable and confident in his role. He formed strong bonds with his fellow cast members, who became like a second family to him. They supported each other through the challenges and celebrated each other's successes. Daffy felt grateful for the opportunity to work with such a talented and dedicated group of people. One day, after a particularly long rehearsal, Daffy received a surprise visit from Bugs and Porky. They had come to the city to see how he was doing and to offer their support in person. "We couldn't stay away," Bugs said with a grin. "We had to see our star in action." Porky nodded. "We're so proud of you, Daffy. You're doing an amazing job." Daffy was overjoyed to see his friends. He gave them a tour of the theater, introduced them to his castmates, and even showed them some of the scenes they were working on. Bugs and Porky were impressed by how much Daffy had grown as an actor and by the progress the show had made. That evening, they all went out to dinner to celebrate. They shared stories, laughed, and enjoyed each other's company. Daffy felt a deep sense of gratitude for his friends' unwavering support. He knew that he wouldn't be where he was without them. As the premiere of the show approached, the excitement and anticipation grew. The cast and crew worked tirelessly to ensure that everything was perfect. Daffy felt a mix of nerves and excitement, but he was ready to give it his all. He thought about all the hard work, dedication, and support that had brought him to this moment. On the night of the premiere, the theater was filled with people. The lights dimmed and the audience fell silent as the show began. Daffy took the stage with confidence, delivering his lines with passion and precision. The audience laughed, cried, and applauded, completely captivated by the performance. When the final curtain fell, the theater erupted in applause. Daffy and his castmates took their bows, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. Backstage, they hugged and celebrated, knowing that they had created something truly special. Daffy's journey had been filled with challenges and triumphs, but through it all, he had stayed true to his dream. With the support of his friends and the hard work he had put in, he had achieved something incredible. As he looked out at the cheering audience, he knew that this was just the beginning of his adventure. He was ready for whatever the future held, confident in his ability to shine and make his mark on the world. Chapter 4: The Big City. After the success of the premiere, Daffy Duck was filled with a sense of accomplishment and excitement. He had proven himself as a talented actor and was ready to embrace his new life in the big city. Living in the bustling metropolis was a big change from the peaceful forest, but Daffy was eager to explore everything the city had to offer. Daffy's days were now filled with rehearsals, performances, and new experiences. He rented a small apartment in a lively neighborhood close to the theater. The apartment was cozy, with just enough space for him to feel comfortable. From his window, he could see the city's skyline, with its tall buildings and bright lights. Every morning, he woke up to the sounds of the city, honking cars, people chatting, and the distant hum of construction. It was a far cry from the serene pond he was used to, but Daffy found it invigorating. On his days off, Daffy loved to explore the city. There was so much to see and do. He visited museums, art galleries, and parks. One of his favorite places was Central Park, a large green oasis in the middle of the city. He would often go there to relax, practice his lines, or simply watch the people go by. The park was filled with joggers, families, and street performers, each adding to the vibrant atmosphere. One sunny afternoon, as Daffy was strolling through Central Park, he stumbled upon a small outdoor theater. A group of actors was performing a play and a crowd had gathered to watch. Daffy sat down on a bench and watched the performance, feeling inspired by their talent and passion. He was reminded of his own journey and how far he had come. After the show, he introduced himself to the actors and struck up a conversation. They were friendly and invited him to join their theater group for a casual performance the following weekend. Daffy was thrilled by the opportunity. Although he was already part of a professional show, he loved the idea of performing in a more relaxed community setting. He accepted their invitation and spent the next few days preparing. The experience reminded him of his early days performing for Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig by the pond. It was a chance to reconnect with his roots and the pure joy of acting. The weekend performance in the park was a huge success. Daffy's natural talent and comedic timing shone through, and the audience loved him. He made new friends and gained even more confidence in his abilities. It was experiences like these that made him fall in love with the city even more. Back at the theater, Daffy continued to work hard. The show he was a part of had become very popular and tickets were selling out fast. Every night he performed to a packed house, giving his best performance each time. The cast and crew had become like a second family to him, and they supported each other through the long hours and challenges. One evening, after a particularly intense rehearsal, Daffy and some of his castmates decided to go out for dinner. They found a cozy little restaurant nearby and settled into a booth. As they chatted and laughed, Daffy felt a deep sense of belonging. He was grateful for these friendships and the opportunity to live his dream. During dinner, one of his castmates, a talented dancer named Lola Bunny, mentioned a famous acting coach who was holding a workshop in the city. "You should totally check it out, Daffy," Lola said. "It could be a great opportunity to learn and grow as an actor." Daffy was intrigued. He had always been eager to improve his skills and learn from the best. The next day, he signed up for the workshop and looked forward to the new challenge. The workshop was held in a large studio downtown, and it was filled with actors of all levels. The acting coach, Mr. Stanford, was renowned for his expertise and his ability to bring out the best in his students. From the moment the workshop began, Daffy was captivated. Mr. Stanford's approach was both rigorous and inspiring. He pushed Daffy to dig deeper into his characters, to understand their motivations, and to express their emotions more authentically. Daffy found himself growing as an actor in ways he had never imagined. He practiced new techniques, participated in challenging exercises, and received valuable feedback. The workshop lasted for 2 weeks, and by the end, Daffy felt like a new actor. He had gained a deeper understanding of his craft and a renewed sense of purpose. Mr. Stanford was impressed with Daffy's dedication and progress. "You have a bright future ahead of you, Daffy," he said. "Keep working hard and never stop learning." Daffy left the workshop feeling inspired and ready to take on new challenges. He returned to his show with fresh energy and ideas, eager to apply what he had learned. His performances became even more powerful, and the audience could feel the depth and authenticity in his acting. As the months passed, Daffy continued to thrive in the big city. He balanced his time between his professional commitments and exploring new opportunities. He joined a local improv group which helped him think quickly on his feet and added a new dimension to his comedy. He also volunteered at a community theater, helping young actors develop their skills and sharing his own experiences. One day, Daffy received a letter from Elmer Fudd. It was an invitation to audition for a new movie being produced by a well-known studio. The movie was a comedy adventure, and Elmer believed that Daffy would be perfect for one of the lead roles. Daffy was over the moon. This was a chance to take his career to the next level and fulfill another dream of his. The audition was scheduled for the following week, and Daffy immediately began preparing. He practiced his lines, worked on his expressions, and even watched similar movies to get a feel for the role. On the day of the audition, he felt a mix of excitement and nerves, but he was ready to give it his all. The audition took place at a large studio on the outskirts of the city. Daffy arrived early and spent some time calming his nerves and focusing on his performance. When his name was called, he walked into the audition room with confidence. The casting directors were friendly and welcoming, which helped put him at ease. Daffy delivered his lines with humor and charisma, showing off his unique style and talent. The casting directors laughed and seemed genuinely impressed. After the audition, they thanked him and told him they would be in touch soon. A few days later, Daffy received a phone call from Elmer Fudd. "Congratulations, Daffy," Elmer exclaimed. "You got the part. The studio loved your audition, and they're excited to have you on board." Daffy could hardly believe it. He had landed a role in a major movie. He thanked Elmer and immediately called Bugs and Porky to share the news. "I got the part," he shouted into the phone. "I'm going to be in a movie." Bugs and Porky were thrilled. "We knew you could do it, Daffy," Bugs said. "You've worked so hard and now it's all paying off." Porky added, "We're so proud of you, Daffy. This is just the beginning of your amazing journey." Daffy felt a deep sense of gratitude and excitement. The big city had offered him so many opportunities, and he had embraced each one with enthusiasm and determination. He knew that this new role was another step towards achieving his dreams, and he was ready to give it his all. As he prepared for his new adventure in the world of film, Daffy took a moment to reflect on his journey. From the peaceful pond where he had first dreamed of becoming an actor to the bustling city where he had made those dreams come true, it had been an incredible ride. With the support of his friends and his unwavering dedication, Daffy knew that the sky was the limit. He was ready to shine brighter than ever and make his mark on the world of entertainment. Chapter 5. The Challenge. Daffy Duck's excitement about his new role in the movie was palpable. This was his big break, and he was determined to make the most of it. However, as he soon discovered, the journey ahead was filled with challenges that would test his resilience, talent, and determination. The first challenge came even before filming began. The director of the movie, a demanding and meticulous filmmaker named Mr. Stanton, had a reputation for pushing his actors to their limits. Mr. Stanton was known for his high standards and his insistence on perfection. When Daffy arrived at the studio for his first meeting with the director, he felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Mr. Stanton greeted Daffy with a firm handshake. "Welcome, Daffy," he said. I've heard great things about you. I'm looking forward to working together." "Thank you, Mr. Stanton," Daffy replied, trying to hide his nervousness. "I'm excited to be here and ready to give my best." The director nodded. "Good. We have a lot of work ahead of us. This role is demanding, and I expect nothing but excellence. Are you up for the challenge?" Daffy took a deep breath and nodded. "Yes, sir. I'll do whatever it takes." The first few weeks of rehearsals were intense. Mr. Stanton's attention to detail was extraordinary, and he pushed Daffy to explore every aspect of his character. The role required Daffy to balance comedy and drama, and the director wanted to see depth and authenticity in every scene. Daffy spent long hours studying his lines, practicing his expressions, and working on his timing. One of the toughest scenes was a dramatic confrontation between Daffy's character and the villain, played by a seasoned actor named Marvin Martian. The scene required Daffy to tap into deep emotions and deliver a powerful performance. During rehearsals, Daffy struggled to find the right balance between anger and vulnerability. Mr. Stanton wasn't satisfied with Daffy's initial attempts. "You're holding back, Daffy," he said. "I need to see more emotion, more intensity. Dig deeper." Daffy felt frustrated and discouraged. He wanted to impress the director and prove himself, but the pressure was overwhelming. After a particularly difficult rehearsal, Daffy called Bugs Bunny for advice. "I don't know if I can do this, Bugs," he admitted. "Mr. Stanton wants so much, and I'm not sure I'm good enough." Bugs listened patiently. "Daffy, you've faced challenges before and come out stronger. Remember the pond and all those days we spent practicing? This is just another step. Believe in yourself and trust your instincts." Encouraged by Bugs' words, Daffy returned to the studio with renewed determination. He worked tirelessly, rehearsing the scene over and over until he felt he had tapped into the emotions needed. One evening, after a particularly intense rehearsal, Mr. Stanton called for a break.
"Daffy, come with me," the director said, leading him to a quiet corner of the studio. "I see the effort you're putting in and I appreciate it, but you need to relax and let the emotions flow naturally. Don't force it. Trust yourself." Daffy nodded, taking the advice to heart. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and allowed himself to feel the emotions without overthinking. When they resumed the scene, something clicked. Daffy's performance was raw, powerful, and genuine. Mr. Stanton watched in silence, then nodded approvingly. "That's it, Daffy," he said. "That's what I've been looking for." With the dramatic scene finally coming together, Daffy's confidence grew. The rest of the rehearsals went more smoothly, and he began to enjoy the process of bringing his character to life. He developed a good rapport with Marvin Martian and the other cast members, who supported and encouraged each other through the challenging moments. As filming began, Daffy encountered new obstacles: the long hours on set, the need for multiple takes to get a scene just right, and the physical demands of some of the action sequences were all taxing. There were days when Daffy felt exhausted and wondered if he had taken on more than he could handle, but he reminded himself of the journey he had taken to get here and the dreams he was fulfilling. One particularly challenging day involved filming a complicated stunt sequence. Daffy's character had to perform a daring escape from a burning building, and the scene required precise timing and coordination. The stunt team worked with Daffy to ensure his safety and guide him through the complex moves. Despite the careful planning, the first few takes didn't go as smoothly as hoped. Daffy felt the pressure mounting as the director called for another take. Sweat trickled down his forehead, and he took a deep breath to steady his nerves. As the cameras rolled again, Daffy focused on the training he had received and the trust he had in the stunt team. This time, everything fell into place. Daffy executed the stunts with precision, and the scene was completed successfully. The crew erupted into applause, and Mr. Stanton gave Daffy a rare smile. "Well done, Daffy," he said. "That was perfect." As the weeks of filming continued, Daffy faced many more challenges, but each one taught him valuable lessons. He learned the importance of perseverance, teamwork, and believing in himself. He also gained a deep appreciation for the hard work and dedication of everyone involved in making a movie. One evening, after a long day of filming, Daffy sat down with Lola Bunny, who had come to visit him on set. They shared a meal and talked about their experiences in the city. Lola had been busy with her own projects and was proud of Daffy's accomplishments. "You've come a long way, Daffy," Lola said. "I'm really proud of you. You've shown incredible strength and resilience." Daffy smiled, feeling a sense of pride. "Thanks, Lola. It hasn't been easy, but I've learned so much, and I couldn't have done it without the support of my friends." As filming wrapped up, Daffy looked back on the journey with a sense of accomplishment. The challenges he had faced had made him a better actor and a stronger person. He was grateful for the opportunity to work with such talented people and for the chance to prove himself in the world of film. The premiere of the movie was a grand event, held in a beautiful theater filled with excited fans and industry professionals. Daffy felt a mix of nerves and excitement as he walked the red carpet, greeted by flashing cameras and cheering crowds. He was joined by Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, and Lola Bunny, who had all come to support him. As the lights dimmed and the movie began, Daffy watched his performance on the big screen with a sense of awe. Seeing himself in such a major production was a dream come true. The audience laughed, gasped, and applauded, completely engrossed in the story. When the final credits rolled, the theater erupted into applause. Daffy and his co-stars took the stage for a Q&A session with the audience. The positive feedback and heartfelt compliments filled Daffy with pride. Mr. Stanton praised Daffy's dedication and growth as an actor, and the cast and crew celebrated their hard work and success. After the premiere, Daffy and his friends gathered for a small private celebration. They toasted to their friendship and the incredible journey they had shared. Bugs raised his glass and said, "To Daffy, for never giving up and for showing us all what it means to follow your dreams." Daffy felt a rush of emotions as he looked at his friends. "Thank you, everyone," he said. "This wouldn't have been possible without your support and belief in me. Here's to many more adventures together." As they celebrated, Daffy realized that the challenges he had faced had only made his success even sweeter. He was ready to embrace whatever the future held, confident in his abilities and surrounded by friends who believed in him. The big city had tested him in ways he had never imagined, but it had also given him the chance to shine brighter than ever. Daffy knew that he was just getting started, and he couldn't wait to see what new opportunities awaited him on his journey. Chapter 6. The Success. After the triumphant premiere of his first major film, Daffy Duck's life changed in ways he had only dreamed of. The movie was a massive hit, and Daffy's performance was praised by critics and audiences alike. He was hailed as a breakout star, and his name quickly became synonymous with talent and charisma. With the success of the film, Daffy found himself in high demand. Offers for new roles poured in from studios eager to work with him. Daffy was careful in selecting his next projects, wanting to build a diverse and impressive portfolio. He consulted with his agent, Elmer Fudd, who helped him navigate the complex world of Hollywood. One of the first opportunities Daffy accepted was a role in a high-profile animated series. The show was set to be a blend of action and comedy, and Daffy was excited to bring his unique style to the small screen. The series was created by a well-respected director, and Daffy knew it was the perfect next step in his career. Recording for the animated series was a new experience for Daffy. He spent hours in the studio, perfecting his voice work and collaborating with other talented actors. The process was different from live-action filming, but Daffy enjoyed the challenge and the creativity it allowed him. The series premiered to rave reviews, and Daffy's character quickly became a fan favorite. As his career continued to soar, Daffy also began to receive invitations to appear on talk shows and at prestigious events. He made guest appearances on several popular late-night shows, charming audiences with his wit and humor. His natural charisma and comedic timing made him a hit with both hosts and viewers. One of the most memorable moments for Daffy came when he was invited to present an award at a major film festival. Standing on stage, surrounded by some of the biggest names in the industry, Daffy felt a sense of accomplishment and pride. He delivered a heartfelt speech about the importance of following one's dreams and never giving up, drawing a standing ovation from the audience. Despite his busy schedule, Daffy made sure to stay connected with his friends from the forest. Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, and Lola Bunny remained his closest confidants, offering support and encouragement through all the highs and lows of his career. They often visited him in the city, and Daffy cherished their time together, knowing that true friendship was invaluable. In addition to his acting work, Daffy began to explore other creative avenues. He took up writing and started working on a memoir about his journey from the pond to the big city. The process of writing allowed him to reflect on his experiences and the lessons he had learned along the way. The memoir, titled From Pond to Stardom, was published to critical acclaim and became a bestseller. Daffy also found joy in giving back to the community. He became involved in several charitable organizations, using his platform to support causes he cared about. He frequently visited schools and community centers, inspiring young aspiring actors to pursue their dreams. Daffy's dedication to philanthropy earned him respect and admiration from both his peers and fans.
As the years passed, Daffy's career continued to flourish. He starred in a variety of films and television shows, showcasing his versatility as an actor. He won several awards for his performances, including a prestigious acting award that solidified his status as one of Hollywood's brightest stars. Despite his success, Daffy remained humble and grounded. He never forgot where he came from or the people who had helped him along the way. He maintained a strong work ethic and a genuine love for his craft, always striving to improve and take on new challenges. One day, Daffy received an invitation to join the cast of a highly anticipated blockbuster film. The movie was set to be an epic adventure, and Daffy's role was pivotal to the story. He accepted the offer with excitement, knowing it would be one of the biggest projects of his career. Filming for the blockbuster was intense, with demanding action sequences and complex character dynamics. Daffy poured his heart and soul into the role, working closely with the director and his co-stars to create a compelling and unforgettable performance. The film's release was a global event, and it shattered box office records, further cementing Daffy's place in Hollywood history. As Daffy stood on the red carpet at the film's premiere, surrounded by flashing cameras and adoring fans, he took a moment to reflect on his incredible journey. From a small pond in the forest to the heights of stardom, he had achieved more than he had ever imagined. His hard work, perseverance, and the support of his friends had led him to this moment of triumph. The success of the blockbuster opened even more doors for Daffy. He was offered the opportunity to produce his own projects, giving him creative control over the stories he wanted to tell. Daffy embraced this new role with enthusiasm, using his experience and vision to bring unique and meaningful stories to life. One of Daffy's first projects as a producer was a heartfelt animated film about a group of animals who band together to save their home from destruction. The story was inspired by his own experiences and the friendships he had formed in the forest. The film was a labor of love, and Daffy was deeply involved in every aspect of its production. The animated film was released to critical and commercial success, resonating with audiences of all ages. It was praised for its beautiful animation, touching story, and powerful message about friendship and perseverance. The film's success further established Daffy as a multi-talented artist and a respected figure in the industry. As Daffy's career continued to thrive, he also found time to focus on his personal life. He cherished his moments of relaxation, spending time in nature and visiting the pond where his dreams had first taken flight. The peacefulness of the forest was a welcome contrast to the fast-paced life of the city, and it allowed him to recharge and reflect on his journey. One sunny afternoon, as Daffy sat by the pond, Bugs Bunny joined him. They chatted about old times and the incredible adventures they had shared. "You've come a long way, Daffy," Bugs said with a smile. "I'm proud of you, pal." Daffy nodded, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "Thanks, Bugs. I couldn't have done it without you and the others. You all believed in me when I wasn't sure I could do it myself." Bugs patted Daffy on the back. "That's what friends are for. And remember, the journey is never really over. There are always new dreams to chase and new adventures to be had." As Daffy looked out over the pond, he realized that his journey had indeed been extraordinary. He had faced countless challenges, but each one had made him stronger and more determined. With the support of his friends and his unwavering belief in himself, he had achieved his dreams and more. The future was bright for Daffy Duck. He knew that there would be more roles to play, more stories to tell, and more dreams to pursue. And with his friends by his side and his passion for his craft burning brightly, he was ready for whatever came next. In the years that followed, Daffy continued to thrive in his career, taking on new and exciting projects and inspiring others with his story. He remained a beloved figure in Hollywood, known for his talent, kindness, and generosity. His journey from the pond to stardom was a testament to the power of dreams and the importance of never giving up. As he stood on the stage of a prestigious award ceremony, accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award, Daffy looked out at the audience filled with his peers and fans. "Thank you," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "This journey has been incredible, and I am grateful for every moment. To all the dreamers out there, keep believing in yourselves and never give up. Dreams do come true." The applause was thunderous, and Daffy felt a sense of fulfillment and joy. He had come a long way, and his journey was far from over. With a heart full of gratitude and a spirit ready for new adventures, Daffy Duck embraced his success and looked forward to the future, knowing that the best was yet to come.
Thank you for watching the entire video. Please support us by clicking the subscribe button and stay tuned for our upcoming videos.